Law Society of Alberta, in its politically correct pursuit of equity, diversity, and inclusion, is now actively enforcing cancel culture. On June the 22nd, 2020, this government body, which is the gatekeeper that controls access to the legal profession, suddenly removed an Aboriginal lawyer, Leighton Gray, from a position he held with the Law Society. The crime for which Mr. Gray was punished was to have publicly criticized Black Lives Matter, a radical group that some have described as Marxist, anti-Semitic, and anti-family. Mr. Gray has an impressive list of legal and community achievements. He received the Stars of Alberta Volunteer Award in 2013, the Access to Justice Award for his legal aid work in 2015, and the Champion of Justice Award from the Alberta Civil Trial Lawyers Association in 2019. Mr. Gray is the founder and president of the nonprofit Lakeland Sports and Learning Academy, helping youth in northern Alberta. His scholarly and legal publications address numerous issues, including Aboriginal rights, privacy law, and Aboriginal incarceration rates. None of this matters to the CBC and other social justice warriors like Alberta's NDP opposition leader Rachel Notley. Ms. Notley, you may recall, has publicly accused Catholics of condoning rape within marriage. Ms. Notley knows that her accusation is false, but she refuses to apologize for spreading hatred against Catholics. After the CBC ran an advocacy piece smearing Mr. Gray, Rachel Notley called on Jason Kenney's United Conservative Party government to fire Mr. Gray from the Provincial Court Nominating Committee. Faced with baseless NDP claims about a supposedly racist Aboriginal lawyer, who represents Aboriginals who are harmed by residential schools, by the way, the Kenney government pressured Mr. Gray to resign from this committee, and so Mr. Gray resigned. I'm not surprised when the CBC and the NDP promote cancel culture or when Jason Kenney gives in to cancel culture. But I am appalled that the Law Society of Alberta, a government body that is obligated to defend free expression for all people, including lawyers, would pander to left-wing politics and disregard its duty under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. In contrast to the NDP, the CBC, and Jason Kenney, the Law Society of Alberta should rise above cancel culture. The Law Society has no business policing the political speech of its members or imposing consequences on lawyers who reject left-wing orthodoxy. The Law Society owes Mr. Gray an apology and should reverse the decision it took against him. I'm John Carpay. Thanks for listening.